So today we're going to set up your English 111 final portfolio online. We're going to use a program called EduBlogs, which is a division of WordPress. So if you used WordPress before, this should be easy for you. If not, we'll walk it through step by step. And the first thing we're going to do is not that. We're going to open up a browser and go to edublogs.org. Now, I have multiple accounts going on here, so I need to log out before I can create a new account. But what should open for you is something that looks just like this without this name in there. So I'm going to create a new free blog, and I'll call it English 111 Practice Blog. And that becomes my username. And I'm going to give it a password. Now you can use whatever username, password that you want, but make sure it's something that you can remember. I'm going to sign up. That'll bring me to this right here. So the username and password is already filled in here and here. I want to make sure I'm a student because that's the only way I can join another class. My blog title and your blog title should be English 111. And your blog URL should be your name. And you can make it even more specific by calling it English 111 if you want, but definitely include your name in that blog title and that URL. Agree to the terms of service, and then you're going to say I'm not a robot. It may ask you to prove it. And once it determines that you are human, you can create a blog. Now sometimes this is going to hang up here, and that spinning circle goes on for too long. You're going to need to close the entire browser down and then log back into EduBlogs using your new username and password. But this one went ahead and jumped right to where I wanted it to, so I'm going to go to the dashboard, which is the beginning of my blog. Now you notice that first it tells me I have all these posts, pages, and comments. I want to get rid of those because they're just kind of a welcome thing and I don't need them. So click, trash it. To go back, I'm going to go back to the dashboard. You can see now I've got 0 posts. I'm going to go to the page, get rid of that. And now you can see I have nothing there. And that's the way I want it to start with. So the first thing I need to do is join my class. Your instructor will have given you a phrase to type in here that should get you into their class. Mine for my class was Gen X. Search for that. It'll bring up an English 111 class. So I'm going to request to join this class. And my request has been sent. The next thing that has to happen here is that your teacher has to approve your request before you can do much more. But for now, let's go ahead and create the rest of this. One of the first things that we need to do is to enter my pages. These pages are where your reflections are going to be, as well as your source pages. And we're going to start with a welcome page. And for now, we're just going to type in the title and publish it. Now, sometimes this isn't going to let you publish all your pages immediately, and you can see that this is still showing as a draft. And the probable reason is because I have not approved. There we go. And now it's published. So I'm going to add another page. And this one is going to be called Revision Reflection. I'm going to try and publish it, and sometimes it'll tell me, hey, yeah, you can't do this just yet. So I need to go here to post, wait for a little bit. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and work with just the welcome page, but you will need to go into the pages parts here, and you're going to add your reflection for your revision, your outcome reflection, your second outcome reflection, and your about the author page. And again, at this point, you're just putting in the titles and publishing them. Usually it takes maybe 2 to 3 minutes before it'll allow you to add a new one. We'll come back to that in a minute. So the next part that we want to do is customize the blog. And so we'll go back to our dashboard. And there are 2 ways you can do this. One of the first ways is actually visit your site, and then you have a little customize tab up here. The other way you can do it is by going down here to appearance, and there's a customize there as well. Either one's going to work. For now, we'll just go ahead and go to this portion. We'll go to customize. And it's going to open a whole bunch of things that we can customize. So we'll start with site identity. You'll notice that your site title is English 111 because that's the title of the site you've already designated. You do need to fill in a tagline though, and that tagline is going to be your name. What that does is on your site, it's going to instantly on your welcome page show the class and your name, which means that your instructor instantly knows whose blog it is. We want to make sure that display site title and tagline is clicked, which it is. We don't need an image at this point, and I'll show you why in a minute. We're going to save and publish that. Once it has saved like this, you can go back out, and you're back in the customizing menu. Another thing you can do is choose a color of your text, your head, and your sidebar. This is not going to affect the text in your pages. It's just going to, you can make it a little bit prettier. I like purple. Actually, I like pink more. So I may want to use pink, really hot pink, hotter, like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and save that. Now I might want to go back in here later and change that color because depending on the theme that I choose, this may not go. The third thing we want to do is create a static front page. What that means is every time you open up the blog, anytime someone looks at your blog, they're always going to see the same page. Otherwise, posts, everything else starts cluttering up the front. So we're going to ask for a static front page, and our front page is going to be the only page that we've uploaded so far, but it should always be your welcome page. I'm going to click on the welcome page and save that. And we're going to come back and look at the menus in just a minute, but quickly I want to set a theme. So I'm going to close this. If I tried to close that and the changes were still working through, it would warn me. And pay attention to those warnings, because if you close and it says, hey, your changes are going to be lost, you don't want to close. You're going to have to just sit tight until that warning goes away. So we're going to look at the appearance again, but now we're going to do something that's kind of fun, which is themes. I'm going to click on that. Themes govern how your initial appearance of your blog looks, as well as all your pages will look. There are hundreds of them. So you don't want to spend a whole lot of time looking at themes because literally you could spend all class period doing this. Also, each theme will have a different set of instructions. So that's why we set up some of those customization things first. So I'm going to go down. I know a couple that really work well, but I'm kind of tired of using Hemingway, so I'm just going to scroll down until I see something cool. Oh, that's freaky. It's always best, though, to stick with just kind of one background image. I love the beach. If I could find something with a beach on it, I would probably use that. That's a little bit not cool. I don't want my picture on there. Oh, perfect. This one's beautiful. Some of these themes are only available with the updated version, so you do have to check it first. It's activated my theme. I'm going to visit my site and see how that worked. Now we've got a problem because you can see there are no pictures here. It may just be waiting a little while, so I'm going to leave it alone for now. And the thing about this program is it does take a while to load changes. So we'll come back to the theme later. If your theme pops up, though, you're pretty good. And actually, I do know a theme that'll work. So I'm going to go back up here to customize and maybe go with the theme that I know works. Nope. Okay. Whenever you need to get back to the beginning, you're always going to go to your dashboard. I'll go back to themes. And this is a good illustration of how easy it is to change your theme. There's a theme called Hemingway that I know loads really quickly. I'm going to go ahead and go with that one. Just activate it. I can now go into my English 111 site and visit it and see how that looks. And there's my blog. And notice that my welcome page is the first thing that pops up. There's nothing in here yet, but it's there. So I'll go back to my dashboard. The next thing we're going to do is create a menu. If you look at my site here, you can see that the welcome is here on this bar. We're going to create a menu of different pages so that I can go ahead and load those up here, and that way your instructor can just click on whichever one of these pages they want to look at, and it comes up real quick. So back to the dashboard, and for this I think we're going to need another page. So we'll go back to the pages, we're going to add a new page, and this time let's add the About the Author page. That'll probably be the first one that you work on anyway. Type in the title, publish the blank page. Look up here, it's still showing as draft. Let's try it again. Looks like it's taking, and this time it published without a warning. So during this process, every time you finish one of these pieces, you may go back to the pages and put your next page in because it looks like it's taking about 5 minutes. Now that I have a page to choose from for my menu, we're going to create a menu. To do that, I'm going to go down to Appearance. And I know it says Menus here, but an easier way to do it is through the Customize button. Now we're in Customize. You can see down here it says Menus. I'll click on that. It'll tell me that I'm customizing it. And down here it says Add a Menu. We're going to add a menu, and we're going to call this new menu Portfolio. will create this menu. And I want this menu displayed as the primary menu. After I do everything, I try and save and publish just because I've lost entire menus. I've lost entire blogs. So we're going to go ahead and click Save and Publish. When I see the saved, it looks like it's saved over here. I'm going to go ahead and click on the portfolio menu, and I'm going to add items to it. Now if you look here, it's going to give me a list of things that I can put on my menu. Pages, posts, categories, tags. I can also format the menu if I wanted to. For now, we're just going to look at pages. I do want to add the About the Author page, and I do want to add the Welcome page. When you have all 5 of those pages listed here, then you can just add them all, but I'll tell you that it takes a while for them to load. You can look over here and see that that has worked. Now we're going to try something else now. You can also add pages directly into the menu, and it'll create a page in the page section. So let's try and add our revision reflection here. Learn how to spell. I'm going to add that page, and it's going to simultaneously create a page as well as add it over here on my menu. And then you can look over here and see it's there. I'm going to save and publish. And it says it's saved. But here's the tricky part. Sometimes it'll say it's saved and it didn't save. So we'll check that in a minute, but first we're going to reorder these. You want to see your welcome at the beginning and your About the Author at the end. So we need to reorder the menu items. I'm going to put the welcome on top by clicking the up button, and I'm going to put the About the Author on the bottom, and I think that's the order that I want things in, so I'm going to click done. I look over here, yep, that looks good. So I'm going to save and publish that. You can reorder at any time. So let's get out of the menu now. And I'm going to click X. Now if all this hasn't truly been saved, it's going to tell me don't get out of here. Looks like it has. I'll go back to my dashboard. It says I have 3 pages published. Perfect. I can go to my site and see what those 3 pages look like. Now I can click on my revision reflection page. It's empty. My About the Author page is there. It also is empty. But that looks the way I want it to look. I'm going to go back to the dashboard and add the last 2 reflections. So this time let's try doing it using Appearance, Customize. I'm going to go to Menus, click on my Portfolio menu. I'm going to add Items, and I'm going to add a new page. This one will be called First Outcome Reflection. I'll click Add. It's appeared over here. I'm not seeing it over here. And there it is. So if that looks about right, probably not. Let's reorder this. I want to put that first outcome reflection there. Done. That looks right. I'm going to save and publish. Now it says it's saved. It's still grayed out here. Now it's not grayed out. That looks right. And this seems redundant, but I'm going to go back and check it again. If I click out of here, it didn't give me a warning. It says I have 4 pages. I can visit the site just to be sure. That looks right. So I'm ready to go back to my dashboard and add the very last page. I'll go to Appearance, Customize. We've run into some problems clicking on the menu button in the Appearance tab, so we're not going that way. I'm going to go to Menus. The menu I want is my portfolio. I'm going to add items, and I'm going to add a new page called Second Outcome Reflection. Add. The important thing is for instance, on laptops, this takes a lot longer to save. It's glitchy, and so you need to be patient with it and just wait between doing things. I'm going to reorder this again. The second outcome should go about there. That looks good. Wait for it to stop graying out on the other side. That looks good. I'm ready to save and publish. And notice how it just turned to save and publish again. So I got to hit it again, and hopefully this time it will save. And it's not going to save at this point. So that's great, because that gives me an opportunity to show you how this doesn't always work right off the bat. We may have overloaded it on pages at this point. You can add as many pages as you want, but they're not going to take. So while we wait for this to be taken care of, I'm going to get out of Portfolio, I'm going to get out of Menus, and what I really want to get to is the Page department. So instead, I'm going to go to My Sites, I'm going to visit the site, and it didn't take me there because it's still saving. Let's try it one more time. Now what will probably happen if I close out of this is it's going to tell me, nope. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and leave anyway, because I can always add that second outcome reflection at a later time. But I still have my 4 pages. So the next part we want to do, you can do this 2 different ways. You can visit the site or you can go to the pages. But let's visit the site. And I'm going to do the About the Author because it's got more moving pieces. At this point, I want to edit. I'm going to create my pages. So I'm going to edit the About the Author. Now I know that my extended metaphor is going to deal with sandpipers. So for our purposes, I'm not going to write the whole thing. But I will write my metaphor. I am a sandpiper. Yours is going to be much better than this. I rush into the waves and scurry away. From the danger. All life is roaring. No, that's wrong. All life is the crash of the surf. Makes no sense, but for our purposes, this works. Now, yours, of course, is going to be a very long paragraph. Because I'm comparing myself to a sandpiper, and part of the requirements of this assignment is that you attach a picture or a video, I'm going to go ahead and go to YouTube. Videos are more fun than pictures. And I'm going to search for a sandpiper. And here's a video with a bunch of sandpipers on it. I've already seen this one, so I know it's going to work for me. So I'll hit the share. I'm going to copy the URL. I'll go back to my English 111 page, and now I'm going to add the media. I'll insert from URL. Make sure that's the right one. And then down here at the bottom, I'm going to insert it into the page. Now the thing is, I kind of want this at the top. So I'm going to get rid of that and put it down here. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. No, I don't feel like messing with it a little bit. Oh, let's go to the text. Maybe that works. And that worked. I just turned it into text instead of messing around with that big giant picture. So if this is what I want, and you should probably write your about the author on a Word document and then just copy and paste it here at the bottom. But if this is how I want to see it, I'm going to go ahead and update it. And now I can go up here and take a look at what it looks like. Beautiful. So from here on out, all you're going to be doing is creating your page, your last page, adding it to the menu, and then writing your pieces, copy and pasting them into the appropriate page. From the website, you just hit edit, and then it'll bring you right to where you can copy and paste. And that's it. All this is automatically shared with your teacher, so they can easily grade it, but also gauge your progress in the next couple weeks. So have fun.